had some degree of contact with other kids / teenagers, more so kids. When I was growing up, my mom would have been very involved in a parents' committee that there was at the time, and I would have met a number of people with HC over the years, but probably more. I probably met more with PKU. I wouldn't say I necessarily had friends who had HC or PKU growing up, whereas now I could say that, you know, I have a few people that I would consider friends that happen to also have HC 20 plus years, and you know, we may not talk often, but at kind of points in our lives where things have been pretty stressful for one reason or another, we've been in contact. So I think to be perfectly honest, I think it's kind of essential, because it can be tough, and it helps to have people who have experience of that you can talk to about it, whatever. Yeah, and I suppose in terms of the hope in HCU, you know, my hope would be that things are better for the generations that come behind, you know, are the obvious ones. No, there have been improvements or potential improvements in the last, say, 10, 11 years or whatever, that would be things that I wouldn't have foreseen happening within my lifetime. So that's kind of interesting. I think partly treatment, but I would say in terms of that things like, you know, the amino acid supplements that we have are so much better than they were X number of years ago. In terms of hopes for the future, I had eye surgery about 8 weeks ago, and it's made a major difference to me in terms of my vision. And even that feels huge. Because like I was diagnosed when I was 2 because the lens of my eyes became subluxed. It did go back in with drops, but I've always had very poor vision in that eye. And I had surgery in it about 8 weeks ago, and I can now see through it almost without glasses, which is it feels pretty big, to be honest. Things like knowing that, you know, if you have a clot, you can be prescribed blood thinners and you can live a pretty much normal life. You know, they're pretty big things to just know. I think that would be a hope for the future, would be, you know, less people getting missed.